Hello and welcome to Members on the Mic with the Troy Chamber of Commerce, where we connect with Troy Chamber members as they give us a glimpse into their company and share some of the lessons they've learned along the way. Hi everyone, I'm Tara Thompson-Cusack, President and CEO of the Troy Chamber of Commerce. And I am joined today by our amazing co-host and Vice President of the Chamber. Amazing, I just like saying it, Sheila Denstead.
I was going to say, I like hearing it. Thank you, everyone.
First, I'd like to take a moment and thank our presenting sponsor, Trion Solutions. Stay tuned for our very first commercial break where you can learn how you can rely on Trion. So Sheila, we have a very fun guest today. Why don't we do some introductions?
I would be honored. Today we are meeting with Scott McInerney, Outsource Risk Manager and producer at Sterling Insurance Group, which is a DBA of Assured Partners. He is property and casualty insurance licensed and is also a certified insurance counselor and a certified risk architect. And we may or may not have had some fun with those acronyms there. He's been in the insurance industry for over 23 years, not only focusing on business insurance and employee group benefits, but making risk management a priority. In the past 13 years, he's developed an expertise in middle to large market companies with operations in manufacturing, distribution, construction, human services, assisted living, schools, and garage operations. But what he enjoys the most is working with his team of coworkers, along with meeting new clients and learning more about their businesses to better understand their culture, goals, and needs. He lives right here in Troy with his wife and two sons and two puppies. Scott, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
So thanks so much for joining us. I guess to get things just started off, what are some common struggles that you're seeing within businesses?
Well, every day when I meet with different prospects or clients, I'm sure you hear it all the time, is everybody's busy. Everybody's wearing a lot of hats, right?
Yeah.
So it's tough to find time to focus on things that they need to make a priority.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, also staffing, getting the proper workforce is an issue as well.
So you are hearing all the same things that we are hearing at this point.
Yeah.
But I was going to say, Sheila, do we struggle with being busy?
No.
No. Yeah.
A lot of solitaire on our ends. Yeah.
You never see you guys.
So when they're talking to you about this, like obviously they're bringing this up to you, but what are some of like the bigger hurdles that they're overcoming in those aspects?
Yeah, it's just they finding the employee that's going to be adequate. Then once they get them on board, they do the onboarding, training, put them out there and start in the workforce for them. Then they don't want to show up the next day or a week later. So they have to go through the entire process. It's adding more to their plate, decreasing production.
Yeah.
So that's one big thing. And again, they're already busy. So, but other things we're seeing also is them having inadequate insurance, being underinsured, whether it's a business that's growing rapidly and they have the same limits they've had years ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yep, exactly. They're not adequate enough, or even the building limits or property limits. Obviously, cost of construction has increased over the past several years as well. And we'll look at policies and dig into them and find that they're way underinsured. And if there is a claim, there's going to be a big issue.
Well, and it is funny, too, because you see people as they're reviewing their stuff at year end or reviewing it before tax season or when we do our reviews and it's like, yep, okay, turn the next page. And you're like, no, this is something that should be reviewed. You should be paying attention to that. Yeah,
definally. And even if they have somebody look at it, often agents will just kind of do the copy, quote, and pray method and use what they currently have, so rather than taking a deep dive and learning about their exposures and what's changed over the years and making sure they have the proper limits and whether it's liability again on the property side or auto and so forth.
Copy, quote, and pray. I think it's going to be my new favorite slogan.
Well, it kind of leads us into something. Of course, Tara and I know tons about this, but can you explain for our listeners?
No, go ahead.
What a risk profile is, and can you help them, understand that term?
Yeah, certainly. The risk profile, it could be different depending on what type of industry. If it's a banking or investment company, it could be on whether their investments are aggressive, moderate, maybe conservative, or if you're looking maybe at health and life insurance, what type of lifestyle a person might live, whether or not they're tobacco users, they have any pre-existing conditions or
shopping addiction.
Yeah, that's exactly. That's a big risk as well.
Shoes for Sheila.
Yep. So, or if they're involved in a wellness program, but from my perspective, and it could be defined differently. From my perspective, it's what underwriters use to evaluate a certain risk, a particular set of information that they might use. So in the property and casualty industry, it's anywhere from, depending on type of business, it could be their estimated annual sales, their payrolls, the type of vehicles they have, what industry they're in, if they have any training programs. Those are things that are going to impact their risk, of course, and it's what's used to evaluate their overall profile, of course.
It's some form of data that they're using to measure for that.
Exactly. The claims are another thing that, whether they're located here in Troy or Birmingham, say it's this particular building, if it's going to be more risky if it's located down Fort Myers, Florida. So, yeah.
I was going to say, have you seen any changes since COVID in those risks? Is there change from that? I mean, we learned so much during that time.
Yeah, there is. It's they make sure they have their proper safety programs in place and policies, procedures when there's an emergency, and definitely some changes there.
A little bit of changes. So guys, we're going to take a little bit more of a deep dive into risk, but we're going to take a quick little break and hear a word from our presenting sponsor, Trion Solutions. We'll be right back.
I'm Joe Vaccari, President and CEO of the Joe Vaccari Restaurant Group, which encompasses 24 restaurants throughout the country. With the addition of Trion, our general managers don't have to spend hours doing paperwork and putting people in our system. All that's done by Trion now, so they can work on what they are there to do, take care of our customers. That's why we rely on Trion.
You can always rely on Trion.
Welcome back to Members on the Mic with the Tri Chamber of Commerce. We are taking a deep dive into risk with Scott. So, Scott, can you tell us some of the more significant emerging trends that you're seeing that companies should be aware of?
Yeah, sure. Over the past several years, you've probably seen it on the news, cyber breaches and breaches. So,
a little bit.
Big thing is having the proper cybersecurity controls in place, whether or not you're using a cyber company that can put up firewalls or having multi-factor authentication in place to try to reduce those types of claims and breaches. That's going to impact, whether it's their income, maybe lose some data, or even their reputation. Other areas too that we've seen over the past several years is employment practices procedures.
Okay, explain.
Yeah. So, the employment practices liability in particular covers wrongful termination, sexual harassment, discrimination types of claims. So, if there are any types of claims in that area, the attorneys are gonna ask for employee manuals to see what type of policies, procedures are in there, and make sure they have.
And that manual from 1984 might not be as effective.
No, even if you want to keep those updated and reviewed frequently, even if it's a year old and was reviewed 12 months ago, it's probably out of date at that time. So we're seeing those types of trends. We're seeing even with the Me Too movement, social media, we're seeing more claims in that area. So risk management and safety should be a priority, whether or not it's digging deep into that and having the proper controls, having the training, contracts reviewed, making sure that the agreements are in place to hold your company harmless.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's.
Well, and you brought up some of the cybersecurity things. We are here, obviously, that's something we've been hearing a lot about anyways. Yeah. I've been in a meeting one time where the Zoom was actually attacked in the middle of it. And I was like, well, this is new. But it was because the links were private and then people got into something else. And we're seeing companies know that there's a liability that's tied to, hey, if you're putting also the privacy of like your clients, your customers, and people at risk, that's not only reputation, but there's lawsuits and financial problems that go along with it if you're not protected in that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Like I said, the reputation is going to impact you alone, but not to mention the income loss and just trying to get things back in order to pre-loss conditions.
Yeah, it's safety in its own new way.
Exactly. but even with the safety, it's in risk management. It's looking at the training and whether it's driver training, workforce training, and making sure you try to be proactive and mitigate any claims. I'm
assuming it's much easier to be proactive in these situations than to be reactive.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. In all areas, really. Again,
I guess. In reality of life, probably right.
But everybody's busy, as I mentioned earlier. That,
they don't have time for that.
No, but they should make it a priority. Even on the risk management and safety side, do your buildings have alarms, central station burglar and fire alarms?
Yeah.
Are they sprinklered? Things of that nature that are going to be impactful if there is a claim.
The
loss.
investment for safety is
Exactly.
important.
For
So,
sure.
yeah.
Yeah, some of those things that we just take for granted, and sometimes if they're not there and we don't think about it, you just, like you were saying, oh, we have a manual, we just put you on, we don't review it. Those are the kind of things that need to be reviewed all the time.
Exactly. Like that safety manual, they just have one, or are they using it?
Right, yes.
What's that thing with the dust and drawer
Right.
Exactly.
sticks?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, happens way too often.
I know. Not for us, though. We
No,
are
no
very
way.
good at just teasing.
Actually, we are.
I mean, yeah, that's true. All right.
Let's go to some real life scenarios here. Talk to us about a risk that you've navigated, what strategies you use, what you tailored to the risk management needs to help one of your clients.
I could talk about, in the manufacturing industry, make sure that the machinery is properly guarded, or even construction industry, making sure they're wearing their proper safety equipment. But one that really sticks out to me that I remember is years ago, part of our process is doing interviews with prospective client or even current clients. This one happened to be a yacht club.
Oh.
And we were talking just to they have a restaurant, pool, and so forth. And we're talking to the restaurant team, and they brought up an issue about umbrellas blowing over the side of the rail on a windy day and landing right in the kiddie pool.
Oh.
So that's kind of an issue.
Yeah, that's a big one.
Yeah. So I just pictured it as a javelin flying over.
I don't want to laugh. That's awful.
No, exactly. But that's a simple fix, really. You just tie them down. So, but other areas that we've seen is dealing with children in particular are nonprofit human services organizations. Even if it's not, it doesn't have to be children. It could be adults, maybe that might be mild mentally handicapped or developmentally disabled, is having those controls in place as far as procedures and policies, not allowing anybody to work one-on-one with their clients. And, no real closed doors when meeting with somebody as well. So also having the procedures and the training to recognize a certain situation and the protocols when you have to escalate it and take it to the management or superior.
Yeah, makes sense.
Supervisor. Yeah.
So obviously you've worked with a lot of different companies, a lot of different clients, but what's the best compliment you've ever received? From a company, I guess. Maybe not your wife.
Yeah. I'd say referrals are always a great compliment, of course.
Yeah.
I actually had a past client reach out to me recently because he has a new venture and he wasn't getting a response from his current agent out in California, but he needed it that day, and I advised him just renew the policy now. Not that was a referral, but also had a compliment about being honest. There's another company that I had worked on recently, and I thought their program and was fairly priced and it was adequately insured, and I told them to stay where they're at for now.
Yeah.
But one that sticks out is kind of funny because as a current client, he told me if I ever gave him sporting event tickets or took him out to dinner, he'd fire me. He said, he really wanted me to just keep operating how I am right now, being available when he needs me. So answering the phone or returning calls quickly. So he's kind of compared me to if in the sporting related industry, if there's two equal athletes and you kind of comparing them over the years, you might say that the best ability is availability. So if one's injured throughout his career, he's not going to be as good as the other, really. So basically what he's pointing out is my availability is greatest asset that I could have for him.
Well, you're honest and available. I mean, I still would like some drink the Kool-Aid, some Lions tickets. But no, I'm just teasing. Yeah.
Well, it's good. I was actually going to say, apparently he's not watching Suits because that's all that's about.
Oh,
so, yeah. All right. Well, Scott, thank you so much for being here today. We really do appreciate you coming in. We've known you for years, and we just love that you're here today to help out our members. With that being said, what's one piece of information, one nugget you can leave them with today that's going to better their business tomorrow?
Again, be proactive rather than reactive, and make sure that your programs are up to date. You're utilizing the safety and risk management programs, and have those things reviewed. Make sure they're adequate.
I love it. Well,
Yeah.
thank you so much for joining us. I think we all have some nuggets, and I think we all want to go back and start reviewing some things that we may need to do. But thank you so much. We really appreciate having you on today. Guys, that's all we have here on Members on the Mic with the Tri-Chamber of Commerce. Special thanks to our presenting sponsor, Trion Solutions. To learn about joining the Chamber or for upcoming events, go to trichamber.com. Thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.
Bye-bye.
All right, thank you.